And welcome back to episode number 12, lucky number 12 of the Wrasslin Roundtable podcast, where we talk about our thoughts, feelings, opinions, and a little bit of nonsense when it comes to the world of wrestling. I'm Ryan Hall. I got Dominique Larue joining us again today. And Dominique, my friend, sound like you're playing a little bit hurt this week.
Yeah, I've been dealing with some throat soreness over the weekend, so I'm trying to tough through it. The show
Yeah.
must go on.
Yeah, there you go, man. The show must go on. Well, thank you for joining us. And I think that just on a quick side note here, as most of my audience knows, I moved from the South back about 2017. Been living up here in the North, in the New York City area for the past 8 years or so, and I do not miss tree pollen season at all. I miss a lot of things about the South, but I do not miss tree pollen season at all. And that kind of sounds like what's kind of going on with your upper respiratory system there.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I've been taking a lot of allergy medicine this past weekend. So
Well, like you said, the show must go on. So it hasn't exactly like the most newsworthy thing, unfortunately, that's been happening in wrestling this week is spring cleaning. They've been, a lot of people, a lot of kind of notable people have gotten released from WWE over the past few days. It happens after WrestleMania every year. I hate it, and there's always a few big surprises that hit that list. And I think the two that really kind of surprised me the most, I mean, one doesn't surprise me a ton, considering just how beat up his body is right now, but Dakota Kai and Braun Strowman got released. Now, Dakota Kai, if you know anything about her history, that woman can put on a five-star clinic with a broomstick. I mean, she's an incredible worker. She's got, a great look. She's got great presence on camera. And, you know, I I don't really understand why they just never had any good creative for her, because she can never catch on. And while I'm kind of sad that Braun Strowman got released, I'm not surprised, because that man's body is absolutely trashed right now. I mean, remember, he did a lot of strongman stuff before he even got into wrestling. So a lot of heavy training, a lot of heavy weight training. But the mere fact that he was able to put on some really great matches, like really great big man matches with guys like Jacob Fatu and Bronson Reed, um, just really kind of a testimony to just how good the guy is.
yeah, well, you already know how I feel about Braun. I got a Braun shirt. Get these hands. Pat made a little slogan for Braun. One big SOB.
Yep.
So I was shocked. It's like, how can I say it? It's shocking, but it's not shocking because like the way they was using him getting released, it was kind of like we kind of figured because I mean the man can't stay healthy, but it's not on his fault. It's not like he don't work out, stay
Right.
healthy. It's just how his body's shaped up. I mean, being as big and tall as that, you can only do stuff. So I mean, you can only physically do things required in the ring for so long until your body just really breaks down. So,
Yeah.
and then Dakota Kai, she was one of my favorites. I was shocked that she lost to Valkyrie for the IC title because the fans were behind her.
Yeah,
So,
the fans wanted to love her, but I don't think like her creative just never gave her much favors.
No, not at all. And then with Io Sky winning the title, Becky, you know, in and out. Well, I mean, Becky didn't need to be in the group because she's just that big by herself. But with Io Sky winning the title, it was just like she was the odd woman out, respectfully. So
Unfortunately. Um, yeah, and I mean, there's some big names, some big names from NXT that got released. Um, I know we were talking about one before we went on recording here.
yeah, poor Jade. I mean, she was destined to be. In my eyes, I thought she was going to be a champion. Her and Roxy maybe have a feud, or if she doesn't become a champion in NXT, at least move up and feud with some of the women in the main roster. But she ended up getting canned, and someone else was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, well, I know Shotzi ain't coming back. Well, her contract is up. They ain't gonna renew it. But I can see Shotzi maybe ended up at TNA, or I wouldn't be shocked if she ended up at AEW, to be honest. But
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, as bad as we rag on AEW, they still, there's a lot of these figures could go over there. I mean, one of the biggest names in AEW right now is Tony Storm.
yeah,
She was a victim of one of these cuts a few years ago, and she's one of the biggest names in the company right now.
yeah, she's holding on. She's one of the biggest stars in AEW for sure.
Indeed, indeed.
And we rag on AEW, but outside of wrestling, these are human beings that are doing something they love to do, putting their bodies on the line for us as entertainment. So, we are very glad to see other talent, if they don't work out at WWE, go to other promotions, because I mean, you got to put food on the table. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, these are, yes, wrestling's predetermined, but these are people, they put their bodies on the line every time they step in the ring. They're honestly putting their lives on the line every time they step in the ring because this is like a childhood dream for them. And to be able to, get into that, to be able to get into that on that level is something that probably the top 1% of the top 1% ever get an opportunity to do. And I know a lot of times when, and there's been a lot of talk online. Let's get this out of the way here. There's been a lot of talk online about why WWE, after record-breaking attendance, record-breaking gates at WrestleMania on WrestleMania weekend, um, why they would do this primarily for like salary concerns. But do you people not remember that this happens every single year in late April, early May after WrestleMania? It's like they conveniently forget, and they end up, trying to take down the boogeyman of the day, and this time being Triple H instead of Vince McMahon.
I mean, it's just the world we live in. I mean, like outside of wrestling, that goes on plenty of times in government, you know, any business, big business like that, they got to make budget cuts.
No,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if we both got our favorite sports teams. If a pro athlete is signed to a big contract and they're not putting up the numbers that they need to, they're not helping their team win. Are they just going to stick around just for the vibes?
no, you're the team with your big contract, or any contract that hurts the team, where you're not producing up to that contract, they're gonna cut you. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, your team may end up eating a lot of that salary, but you're gonna end up looking for a new job.
i.e., Aaron Rodgers, not you know.
Well, you know, yeah, yeah, Pat McAfee's good friend Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
No,
mean,
I'm glad you mentioned that guy because I know we was trying to figure out in the production meeting of what we wanted to talk about, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about.
well, well, I'm complete around the around the releases. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. I don't even know if I want to call it a feud between Gunther and Pat McAfee. Um, that program, I don't know what the hell you want to call it, but it's going to end up. Yeah, I mean, what's on your mind around it?
I hope that match. All due respect to Pat McAfee because I've seen him wrestle. He's phenomenal in the ring. He's an athlete. He's
Yeah.
literally been in the NFL, won the Super Bowl. Uh, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, he's a punter, but they still have to hit the weight room. They still have to do 2 days with their team and this and that.
Mhm.
Pat is athletic. He's one of those sneaky athletic. He don't look it, but he can do some stuff in the ring that you'd be shocked. But to pair him up with Gunther and expect me to think any less of this match other than it's going to be a slaughter, you are crazy. Um, I feel like Pat is going to shock Gunther a little bit, but it's going to be some point in that match where stuff is just derailed and Gunther is going to choke Pat out.
Yeah.
Like he better not even. If they make Pat win this match against Gunther, WWE has went straight down the toilet bowl. I'm sorry. I mean, like you basically just
Nothing against
really
Pat McAfee, who we both like on commentary.
we love Pat McAfee. We love him, but the way you have built, it's only a few superstars we've seen in WWE in recent years that's been built the correct way, and Gunther is one. At one point, we was like, What the f is going on?" Because they changed his name from Walter to Gunther, and we was like, "Okay, we'll ride with it. He's still Walter in our eyes, but
Well,
we'll go with the change."
I mean, his
Gunther
mama did
changed,
legitimately call him Walter. I mean, just
right? So we go with that. He's dominant. He wins the IC title. He's probably the longest reigning IC champion of all time. That's cool. He lost to Sammy. Great. That means he's projected to go up, which he did and win the world title. Cool. You and I both been on record saying that his world title defense is kind of less than the IC title reign, or even his United Kingdom reign. But I mean, either way it goes, they did right with him and Jay, and like he was undefeated with Jay until WrestleMania, and I mean everything went right. So with that being said, like I get it, you got to kind of rebrand him a little bit, like get him back on that killer side. And I mean, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how the match needed to be. He needed to rip Pat's shirt off. I'm talking about red, all of his shit, to the point where Michael Cole had to get involved, get on top of Pat, and be like, "Hey, no, stop, stop, stop," like that. Just
right.
that's what I envision. So
Yeah, yeah. I can definitely see it going that far because, um, as you said, Pat McAfee, he's an athletic dude. I brag on him about being a punter, but like you said, you still got to go through 2 days. You still gotta, but he's also been in several high profile matches. I mean, wasn't he? What it was Adam Cole? He worked in TNA, right? And not and
that was
then
great for you.
yeah,
Great for
no,
you.
that was a great program. And Adam Cole, I mean, come on, the guy can go. He's one of the best workers in the game. Um,
Yeah.
but if they have him win that match, if they have McAfee win that match, I think
Got to be disqualification.
it's got to be a disqualification, and it's got to be like it's got to involve somebody else. It can't just involve those two. In all due respect to Michael Cole, it can involve him too. I hate to say it, but this feels like how they're going to reintroduce Bill Goldberg. Bret Hart's best friend.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. Eh, I still got a sour taste in my mouth from Goldberg and Undertaker match where he almost killed the Undertaker. So it's like the mystique of Goldberg has really just has deteriorated since. I mean, you come back, you beat Brock Lesnar, and that oh my god, I still can't believe. Bro,
Yeah, bro,
all due
like
respect to
like
Brock,
your face just like went ashen when I mentioned his name. I mean, it just
I,
wiped out.
I was a huge Bill Goldberg fan back in the day, and it's like when he
Same.
came back and he wrestled against. I mean, when he came to WWE, he wrestled The Rock, and you know that whole feud and everything. And with Triple H, I was like, okay. But then when he came back, like probably 10 plus years later, and he went on this, you know, run with the beating Kevin Owens for the Universal title and him and Brock. And I'm just like, I've literally seen Brock destroy all these people. Like literally bust open Roman Reigns, bust open Randy Orton. Like he FU was okay. If we would have got it 20 years ago, that would have been great. But it's kind of like back when they was doing the WrestleMania main event, people knew Bill Goldberg was gonna leave. It's kind of like that to me
Yep.
now.
Yeah. And that was WrestleMania 20. That was over 20 years
And
ago.
then the man is in his what 50s? He's been being in his 50s.
Like 54, 55, something like that. Yeah.
I just see it. I see it as a match that's gonna be like Angle and what's his name? That retirement match. We should have got John Cena versus Kurt Angle, but instead we got um I can't even remember his
Baron
name.
Corbin. Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Yes, we got Baron Corbin instead,
Yeah.
and that was terrible. So
No, that match sucked. That match sucked. um,
like, I mean, it helped him out a little bit, but it's like this ain't what we wanted. Y'all gave us nothing of what we wanted.
that's not what Kurt wanted.
Yeah, that's not what Kurt wanted, but
Kurt,
Vince McMahon was all for it.
yeah, I think Kurt wanted to work Chad Gable.
It could have been Chad. It could be Kevin. Hell, it could have been Triple H with his
Yeah,
pacemaker. All I get there, but I mean, it's like
Triple H
Baron
and
Corbin.
pacemaker. Yeah,
It could have been Drew. It could have been Drew. I would have been fine with Drew.
absolutely,
Like
absolutely.
somebody other than Baron Corbin. And now the man is released. You released the man. So it's like
Yeah.
you just tarnished the memory he had of Kurt Angle even more than what it was.
I mean, and to be fair, this is not this is not TNA Kurt Angle. This is
No.
this is not the Kurt Angle that we all know that we was one of the craziest jokers in wrestling history.
Yeah, peak angle.
Peak Angle, yes, I
Yes,
was.
not the other angle,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
peak
yeah,
angle.
not the other thing, but I mean, just kind of getting back to that match, I feel like if you know if this is kind of the entry to get Bill Goldberg back into the game, um, the way that they've kind of built up a Gunther here, they may bury Bill Goldberg, like
They have to do
like I'm talking 6 feet under, I'm talking funeral, I'm talking all that.
they have to do Gunther the way they did Cody when he lost to Roman. You know, he had to go through that retooling of going through Brock Lesnar, going through this, going through that. So I feel like there's only a good way to get Gunther back up there amongst the greats, and I mean one way is to stomp the mud hole out of Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, yeah. Leave a Hall of Famer bloodied
I
in the
mean, because
middle of
what
the ring.
what do he have to prove? There's nothing left for Bill Goldberg to prove, but a win against Goldberg, a dominating win against Goldberg, only builds Gunther's resume even more
Yeah,
to eventually get the title back.
yeah. No, no. Yeah, that's definitely like I feel like that's you know he's got to get back in that got to get back in that title hunt. Um, I've often thought, I mean, I don't know. Speaking of Brock Lesnar, I don't know what his relationship is with WWE right now, but SummerSlam 2026 is going to be in Minneapolis next year.
Mm.
That could be Brock Lesnar's retirement match, Gunther and Brock Lesnar. Kind of the, like like the kind
Passing
of
of the torch.
passing of the torch kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
But to do that, you've got to build him up big.
And could you see
Got to build Gunther up huge.
could you see Gunther like taking the F5 and making it into his own?
I mean, he is the ring general.
Kevin Owens can take the stunner. I mean,
That would be one hell of a heel move if you think about it. Because if he took away one of the most famous finishers in the game and started kind of curious what he'd call it. He wouldn't call it the F5, but I'm kind of
no,
curious what he'd call it.
G5.
The A5 because he's Austrian, but yeah.
RG5 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
R5.
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, this, yeah, I got a weird feeling about this whole Pat McAfee Gunther thing. I got a weird feeling about that.
You got a weird feeling. I got a terrible feeling in my stomach of you watching Logan Paul and Jay Uso. Why does this dude keeps getting in these title matches? Like, what has he done other than his name to just be put in these title hunts? Like, my God, AJ Styles, poor AJ Styles is getting L's over here, coming back from injury and take an L to Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Then you turn around and spoon food feed this man a title shot against Jey Uso. Now, granted, I can only envision him losing this match, but could you imagine every podcaster, every person in the internet wrestling community, if Logan Paul wins that belt, all the hard work Seth Rollins has done to build that belt up, then turn around and goes to Gunther and he builds the build up in the first time Jey Uso gets his hands on that title. This new and improved Jey Uso that is ruthless, that is like, ain't nobody gonna be effing with me, and then turn around and lose to Logan. That'll be the biggest ride I've ever seen in my whole time life. Like people will be going for Triple H's head.
Now, people are going to be rushing out of the stands and trying to rip the ring apart. They're going to have to get like a riot squad to keep people from rushing the ring and just tearing up the.
And in St. Louis too. I'll
Yeah.
be sick.
Oh, God. God, don't even bring that in. Don't even acknowledge that. I mean,
I don't even give him no more energy, but
yeah.
like I just had to say it. I don't I get it. We Jay need a little easy win to go upward with, but why not give him Sammy? the way y'all played it, when Sam was in the ring looking at Jay, I was like, I don't know if he's looking at him like he's just proud or he's looking like you want to Halua kick him in the back of his head. I don't know.
I've got a thought about that.
And don't forget,
Yeah,
Karrion Cross talked to Sami Zayn. So
Karrion Cross, the instigator of so much stuff.
yeah.
You know, I feel like Sami Zayn makes such a compelling baby face. But I would love to see him with a little bit of conflict, with a little bit of like questioning himself. Like I can see him, eventually going into like a babyface versus babyface match with Jey Uso. Just like, hey, I love you, you're my dog, but this is, you know, I want that title. May the best man win. I mean, just like totally like white meat babyface it up. But during that match, Sammy starts, he may, start taking some shortcuts. He may start, doing some heel moves. And then by the end of that match, he goes full heel, cracks him and, cracks him with a chair, with the ref out. 1, 2, 3, new champion. But
Or
but don't turn him completely until the finish of that match.
or
I think that could be really compelling.
the crowd can turn on him. They turn on Cody.
Yeah.
So
WWE is in a weird spot right now because WrestleMania, a lot of WrestleMania was really good.
yeah.
That main event, people are still pissed about that.
I don't know. I don't know if we it's probably gonna take till SummerSlam to get that taste out of my mouth. So
Yeah, not enough milk in the world to be able to take that taste out.
that milk.
Not, yeah,
That was Stone Cold should have drunk coming down to that ring instead of that beer. He almost took that lady out.
yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, just like give like give every fan in that give every fan that comes to SummerSlam a little bottle of Wheatley's vodka.
They go be in New Jersey. I don't know. Get a
Yeah,
little rowdy up there. So.
God, yeah. I can, the mass transit away from that stadium is a nightmare anyway, and just doing it back to back nights. Oh yeah, I can't even fathom.
Man, that is going to be wow. And they got Cardi B involved. Oh my God. I can only imagine what storyline is going to be developed from that. So,
First 2 night SummerSlam.
first 2 nights SummerSlam. About to witness history.
Yep, yep. It's either going to be a TKO power grab or it's going to be, just a compelling 2 nights of TV.
You know what I'm envisioning? And then eventually the top four are going to be 2 nights.
Yeah, I can buy that. I can absolutely buy that. I can definitely buy some Royal Rumble being 2 nights because
Yeah, the women's Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble for the main event.
the Royal Rumble match itself, if it's not booked impeccably, can be a grind to watch because those always run over an hour.
Yeah.
You've got so many like interconnected storylines. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you've got to, you know, I think Royal Rumble is definitely going to be the next one that goes 2 nights.
I can I can see that, and I can see Survivor Series being that too because, like you said, both matches are like over an hour, and then like you have so much to tell in that match and so little time to do it the way you want to do it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just just kind of thinking of it, you've got I mean, if they stay with the War Games format for SummerSlam, or they can do War Games and do like a traditional 5-on-5.
Yeah, yeah,
Both could definitely work.
yeah. I mean, guys, oh, they can originally go back to what they used to have, which I thought it was great. I mean, the NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, that was great, and there was a way to help fans that don't watch NXT turn their eyes to NXT. I mean, that one year we watched it, NXT won. Like,
I know, yeah.
and it was like, oh wow, like Triple H is finally getting the respect that he deserves. You know, wait, what type of brand he's running the NXT? And it was like, oh no, back to Raw vs SmackDown
Yeah.
or a 5-on-5 format. So
Yeah, yeah. I like brand versus brand never really worked for me. Like Raw versus, I mean, it just never really worked for me because
yeah,
these are still the same guys. These are still the same guys. And you hate somebody because he's got on a blue t-shirt and you hate him because he's got on a red t-shirt. Like it never, like I never really felt the stakes behind it because this is not the Bloods and Crips we're talking about here. This is two different shows with the same company.
and then I mean, like you see these superstars jumping brands anyway. I mean, at some point they just stop. Like, oh, anybody on Raw, they just strictly on Raw. They're not on SmackDown. But now with TKO getting involved, yeah, like you literally have Cody, Roman, and Bianca on the cover. Like whenever you click on Netflix, them three are on the Netflix. Like when you click on it, but then Cody and Bianca and Roman on SmackDown. So
Yeah,
like, is it really brand versus brand? I mean, like, it's not.
yeah,
It's just WWE. It's WWE product.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is, like it kind of reminds me, and we'll move on here in a bit, but it kind of reminds me of when they were trying to make um ECW a third brand. Um, which, you know, my my love of, you know, a lot of ECW from the late 90s just kind of dissolved while watching that.
Yeah, they can do what they really wanted to do on WWE with ECW because I mean ECW was its own entity. Like
Yeah,
it, ECW is what AEW I would say strive to be, but ECW had its own. It was just its own feel of stuff. It was something. It was definitely an alternate to WWE and WCW.
yeah. And to be clear, ECW is more than just the blood and guts and violence. It's
It was
about
actually storytelling then.
it's actually incredible storytelling. With payoffs, with great payoffs. I mean, Sandman and Ravens, one of the, that God, that feud was like 3 or 4 years.
Sandman is basically what let's see. Sandman is what DDP was for WCW and what that's can I dare say Stone Cold and WWE or more like Jay. He just had that connection with the crowd.
Yeah,
And I mean, what also happened was drinking beer and smacking it on his head like that. I mean,
you're right. Right. And of course, the unlicensed Metallica
yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah.
Because Paul Heyman never paid for that.
Nope, nope. Not at all.
Um, yeah, which, one of the reasons probably why they're not in business today. But yeah, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what do how are you sitting right now with this whole Randy Orton, John Cena main event going into Backlash? What do you think about that? Um, I kind of feel like it's kind of felt one-sided. to me
It
because
does. Oh, I really want every every bone, every fiber in my body wants Randy to get that big win in his hometown and get 15. But the ruin wrestling is like a black cloud over that. It is like once again, in Triple H's reign, it's the Easter eggs, it's the foreshadowing. And like out of nowhere, our truth is like getting in Randy's face, talking about, John Cena is the true champion and this, that, and the third. And we know whenever our truth gets into something, it's going to be something. It's going to be something funny and make us laugh. Or it's gonna be like, oh, our truth, what are you doing? Like, what? No, 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 man. So I feel like this is my early prediction. John is going to get an RKO, or it's not even gonna be an RKO. It's gonna be somehow, some way. Our truth is gonna come out. We're gonna hear his music. Randy's like, what is going on? And then John is gonna try to go for the I say FU, but AA. And then he's going to pin. Oh wait, he's going to go for the A. Randy's going to reverse it, hit an RKO. The ref is going to count, but then here comes our truth, pulling the ref, and then Randy's going to punt kick the out of our truth, and then John Cena's going to win. Like he's going to cheat to win, but it it's like there's got to be some kind of way that Randy wins that belt and John gets the belt back or something because it's like Randy has literally he's came back, hurt his back, came back. I mean, I don't know if he hurt his back or anything like that when Kevin did the power drive or whatever. Maybe he took some time off. I don't know. But this man has literally gave us everything he had for 20 some years. He has his ups and downs, his personal demons he fought with, and now he's, the family man. And I mean, he literally has not even stepped a pinky toe out of WWE. Like, not even. He's like the Undertaker. I mean, he's
not even a
basically been
bit
there.
part in the movie.
Not a bit part in the movie. Not even like an extra or something. So it's like I really want Randy to get 15, but every being in my soul is telling me our truth is gonna screw him out of that. So
Yeah, and I feel like that R-Truth angle could be something interesting because I feel like I'm kind of with you. I kind of feel like he's going to end up costing Randy Orton this title because R-Truth sees John Cena as his childhood hero, which is hilarious, knowing the age difference between those two men. But um I feel like you can turn R-Truth heel, but he's completely oblivious to it because he plays Ditzy so well. Like he can be oblivious to it. Like he thinks he's fighting for the righteous. He's fighting for the uber baby face Randy Orton. But it turns out that because he always sees, his childhood hero John Cena as like the paragon of virtue. And I think it could be um I don't know, like it could be something compelling, and our truth just gets like incredibly confused when people start booing him.
or he's like totally oblivious to the booze. He's just like, I mean, when John turned heel, he was just like, oh man, what's going on? Like he was still on John's side. Like he was just like, it wasn't like he said F them kids, but it was just like, I don't see no wrong with John Turn heel. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I still got your back, John.
yeah, yeah. You my hero.
No matter what, you still my hero, John.
You can't change you can't change horses in the middle of a stream, huh? But yeah, I think that there's just I kind of wonder what what else they got on their sleeves for Backlash, because right now they've only got what is it they've got they've got the main event. They've got that four-way for the US championship.
You got a four. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they just set that on Friday.
Which
Uh,
Solo is possibly maybe going to screw. He may help Jacob because I mean Jacob just got it built, so I don't see him losing it. But I feel like it's gonna be like a little teaser, like a little crack in the shield of the new bloodline or whatever.
right. I mean, I think we're gonna get that "I hate you" solo moment, and it's just gonna blow the roof off of whatever building they're in.
Oh god, yeah, it's going. I'm waiting for it. I hate you, Solo.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we only got what four way the main event. Did we get anything about the no? Not the women's yet. Oh, wait, is Tiffany? No, I don't think Tiffany defending the belt yet. I guess somebody, right? Nope, it's Jaden.
Yes, yeah. I think he kind of proves just how kind of lackluster this build has been. But none of us can think of what the matches.
Yeah,
I'm pulling it up on Wikipedia
and I
now.
mean we still got what 2 weeks away? 2 weeks away from the
Yep.
event. Excuse me.
All right. So yeah, pulling it up on Wikipedia now. Um, all right, so they've got four matches set. You've got
Okay.
John Cena versus Randy Orton. You've got Lyra Valkyria against Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. You've got Pat McAfee, rest in peace, against Gunther.
Yeah.
And then you have Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre for the United States Championship. I feel like they're gonna do something with Jade Cargill and Bianca, not Bianca Belair, obviously, because he's injured, but Naomi. Um,
Yeah.
like maybe a three-way of some kind, because I don't know if they want to. I don't know if they want to run like the one-on-one back until SummerSlam, maybe, or maybe Money in the Bank.
Uh, you know what though? Think about it. I think I think with Bianca's injury was kind of like a blessing in disguise because now we could get Bianca versus Naomi at SummerSlam. I feel like that's where it could be heading. So
That could be fun.
I mean, hell, I mean, really ain't no telling. We could get Charlotte versus Jay by then. I don't know. So
That's money, by the way. That's
exactly.
money. And
So
They need to have Jade go over
or
because
Jay have the title and Charlotte is chasing her. Or I don't know, but it's a lot of pieces to be
yeah,
moved.
no, there are a lot of pieces there. But
So
yeah, I mean, if a show like this can deliver, could be a hell of a fun night.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm I'm excited for SummerSlam. I mean, I don't know. We still got a long way to go, but at the same time, I'm
We've got a
still kind
long
of
way to go. We still got two pay-per-views between that Backlash and Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. And
Yeah.
I'm not too confident about Money in the Bank because I feel like that Money in the Bank is going to end up in the wrong hands this time around.
Who do you think?
seeing that Jey Uso has the world title and John has the undisputed title, could it be out of the realm of John winning the Money in the Bank briefcase match? Because think about it. He wants to ruin wrestling, right? We never had a champion and a Money in the Bank winner as champion. And whoever beats John can get cashed on by John and he gets the belt back. Not only would he go up 18, but I mean, he basically continue on that run of, showing up as undisputed champion and retiring. And then, I mean, if it's not John, my only two answers could be either Seth or I mean possibly Roman. But I always say John because John is the first one to ever be cashed in on too. That's another thing.
Right. Yeah,
That's
just
another
to kind of
nugget.
bring that career full circle.
Bring it full circle. So
I mean, I
I
was
pray to God it's not, and I also pray it's not Logan Paul. Like, dear God, I do not want that at all. Do you hear me? Like,
Dom,
never.
Dom, I love you, but get that man name out of your mouth,
The
please.
man is there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm just sorry. Like Logan Paul is a full time wrestler, and with the sickos in the writers' room, it's possible. It's always possible. Now, hear me out. Here's the two scenarios. If you had to choose, not saying it's possible. I hope Dom is the IC champion by then. But could you see Dom or Logan Paul as Money in the Bank winner? Who would you rather see?
Talk about a Sophie's choice. My God. Um, Dom.
Yes, I'd rather be Dom.
Yeah. And I
Like at
hate
the end of
Dom.
that, I'd rather be Dom. I'd rather be Dom because you have a chance of Finn costing him that because he's already jealous of him winning the IC title. So it's a lot of variance right there that could ruin that. With Logan, I mean, maybe AJ Styles cost him that cash in or whatever, but it's just like, I mean, they let this man be in a title match with Jay. There's so many other options. Karrion Cross could have been an option. Like, come on, like, why are we getting Logan Paul fight for the belt? He only been in 4 matches, 4 or 5, not even enough to be like a considerate choice. I mean, dear God, he only had, his third match was against Roman in Saudi Arabia for the title.
Meanwhile, CM Punk has just got his feet up on his coffee table watching hockey.
Yeah, I, it's I don't, I'm, I don't. If it wasn't for John Cena versus Randy, this Backlash pay per view be going in the. I mean, we trying to not cuss on this part. It'd be in the toilet. It'd be in the toilet. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
be in the toilet. I mean, thank God for Jacob, but I mean, when you look down the list, it ain't too well after that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, out of those 4 matches, the 4-way for the US Championship is the one that I'm most interested in.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, and then I'm interested in the stallion factor of Randy versus John. That's it. That's the only two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we shall see. We shall
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Um, maybe Logan Paul can lose his luggage or something. I don't know.
I just want Jay to like super kick, power bomb, and choke him out. Gunther style. You choke Gunther out, choke Logan Paul out.
Gunther style, yes.
Just I can't.
No, no, no.
I don't.
Let's have Jey Uso completely crash out and go Walter on that man.
I can only dream.
Oh, oh, your lips are God's ears, my brother. Oh my God. Um, well, I've got I've got an I ran across a really interesting question on social media that I wanted to bring up in the podcast.
All right.
Um, Now there's a lot of talk, and there has been a lot of talk about, well, first of all, and I want to get your opinion on this, but I'm just speaking as the resident music junkie of the bunch here. But what makes for a good entrance song for for a wrestler? Because just thinking back to the last Royal Rumble back in February, so many of the theme songs don't get the crowd hype just like right off the bat, because you need to be able to know who's coming to the ring within a couple of seconds. That's what make the glass break for Stone Cold so good. That's what made HBK's song so good. That's what made, God bless him, Hulk Hogan song so good. Is that Bret Hart, you knew who was coming down to the ring within the first few licks of the song. But so many wrestling theme songs right now are just so, they're not bad, that they're just bland.
Yeah.
And I feel like and I'd love to hear your opinion on this, but I feel like it just takes away so much of the show's presentation when when the crowd you know can't get hype for somebody coming down to the ring because they don't know whose music it is.
Where's my camera? Right. Okay. Get a light. Get a light.
Yeah.
Read my lips. Logan Paul's entrance music is trash. Okay. It's the blandest thing I've ever heard. Um, and nothing about his entrance music makes anybody like, oh, he's a great heel. Oh, he's a great babyface or whatever. It is trash. Yeah,
And it's also a lie because it repeats, I'm humble. I'm humble. I'm no.
no, no. You're arrogant as shh. So, um, what
With
makes
all
a
due
great entrance
respect to
music?
the late Doink the Clown, you're a clown, Logan.
Everything about a wrestler, number one is the entrance music because when the music hits, you know that wrestler. You know how he comes out, how he presents himself. You know, you got the infamous Batista where he comes out, he does the gun.
Mm-hmm.
You got Randy, he comes like, all right, Randy's I'm not sure if it's first, but I just remember Randy's before the voices one, his iconic one now. He's like, hey, nothing you can say.
Yep.
Yeah, I still remember him doing like that, right?
Right.
That was a cocky Randy back then, you know, the arrogant second generation, I'm with evolution, you know, I'm good in the ring, this, that, and the third. That
Yep.
defined Randy. That's Randy Orton. Stone Cold, the glass breaking, the da 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 da. You knew he was coming out. He was going. He's a tough SOB, as Jr. like to set it up for you. He's finna to whoop your like he's been beat a mud hole in you. The Rock, he's cocky, you know, arrogant. You know, I'm flashy. I got this $3,000 vest or whatever. Like if you smell what the Rock is cooking, you know.
Yeah.
Undertaker's iconic dong, right?
Yes.
Like that entrance music for will forever. Anybody who doesn't watch wrestling knows that dong. Anybody knows that's Undertaker. Um, recently, like you know, the Usos as twins, they came out to down since day one, and then
Mm-hmm.
Jay flipped it, and now he's it's just me Us. That's one of my recent favorite ones because not only did I like, yeah, everybody loves to eat, but like I went to a live event with my daughter. And seeing her do that, it holds a special place in my heart. So now that's one of my all-time favorites. But my all-time favorite entrance music, it has to be obviously it's Undertaker, obviously it's Stone Cold, but um it's just the rock. Like, I mean, it's if you smell and then it hit him with the rock, it's cooking. And he comes out, he's talking this smack, he spit, and he just jumping up and down. It's like it gets you amped because you know what this performer is gonna do.
Yes. Yes.
And then
Yeah.
not to cut you off, sorry.
Yeah.
Recently too, Romans. Like at first I didn't like it around the COVID era, but like as he built up this tribal chief persona, it adds this different aura because like when that music hits and the way he built that title up, it was like it was going to be a grand slam of a match. Like it was going to be block office match. It was going to be
Hmm.
physical. There was going to be a storytelling going on in it, and it was just going to be like something you won't forget.
Amen. Amen. That's a great example because, both, I'll say with that example, because it's not, it's not the, immediate kind of like when the beat drops and the guitar riff starts, kind of like Hulk Hogan, one of the greatest, theme songs of all time. Um, but when those drums kicked in on Roman's, you knew immediately who it was. Like if it's at a Royal Rumble, when those drums hit, the crowd loses their minds. Same thing with The Rock. You knew exactly who it was within the first second. As soon as the guy in the truck hit the play button, you knew who it was. And who was it? Like Finn Balor used to have such cool entrance music.
Yes.
When he could, pause, when we in our group chat used to joke about hashtag Balor arms, but like he got the crowd going. It got the crowd with him. And right now it just seems like,
It,
didn't like
you,
generic song 101 from like a 2K video game.
Ryan, you're so right. When I think about entrance songs, that word aura, like when Finn came out, that leather jacket and just this cool, calm, like aura about him. And he does his arms like that. And the crowd is just with it. And he just do his little jacket like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when he comes out as the demon, it's even more, it's like it's more intensified because it's like you're not fighting Finn no more. You're fighting this like aggressive, like evil Finn. Like he is going to like give it even more of an effort than it was with just regular Finn.
Right. And he's already naturally pissed because he's been in the makeup chair for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yes, yes, yes.
But
Yeah.
um but you know, use a great word, aura. My favorite wrestling theme song of all time is Ric Flair because first of all, it wasn't a theme song. It was it was Strauss. It's a classical, like it's a piece from a famous classical from a
But
famous classical composer.
he's got his catchphrase that starts it off though.
Well, I'm talking about all the way back in like NWA,
Oh, you talking about wait? Oh,
WCW
okay, okay.
before they brought him to WCW,
Yeah,
before
yeah. I got
WWE.
you.
But
I got
just when they just hit that, but when you hit that one movement from from that one Strauss, and I hope I'm getting that composer right, um, but when you hit that very first note, you know who it is. You know who's about to walk through that curtain. You know who it is. And so often, so many of these, like they take something that's catchy. They take something and this, this composition group that WWE has called Death Rebel have ruined so many badass wrestling theme songs. It Finn
And
Balor's Finn Balor's a great example.
uh,
Great.
Triple H is a great example too.
Oh,
Both his interest musics.
oh man, triple like so like the the music should work for the character.
Yes, absolutely.
And the metal, yeah, and the Motorhead songs worked for Triple H's character in those times. Um, even in
And
even in DX era, you
you think you know
knew
me?
like
I mean, oh my bad, that's Edge. Sorry,
yeah,
but Edge, even though like you think you know me, when that hits, you know it's Edge. DX. Um, how'd it go? Oh, you think that you're better,
yeah,
and everybody just
yeah, totally getting suspended for
it's
school.
like
Yeah,
as we start edging out like our wrestlers of our generation and the new wrestlers coming in, it's like some of them have it and then some of them don't.
yeah, and
And it used to be that way.
no, it really didn't. You know, WWF, WWE had a man named Jim Johnson do so many of those iconic so many of those iconic songs. Um and for reasons passing understanding, they let him go and cut ties with him.
Uh, one great one too, a car crash. You know what that is?
Mick Foley.
Mankind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mankind. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, da 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 da. Like we know that's mankind. And then another favorite of mine, Kurt Angle. Like I used to hate hearing that song, but I knew who it was because I knew when Kurt Angle comes out there, he is going to he's going to be a submission machine, a wrestling machine. He's going to like put on like an all-time great show.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero.
Latino heat. I lie. I cheat. I
Yeah,
steal. Yeah. I
He
mean,
comes out there. There's so many great ones. God,
yeah.
Chris Jericho, break the walls,
Thank you. Yes.
man. We can like literally go on and on and on about like all the great interest music, and just you envision what they're going to do in that ring when you hear their music.
But so many of these songs nowadays feel like they're just like generic songs taken from a 2K video game.
Yeah, I mean they literally back in the day had a CD that comes out with all the wrestlers' interest music
Uh-huh.
because every last one of them was different. It wasn't nothing of the same. They all had different personalities associated with that music.
Yes. And that's gone.
It's gone.
So much of it is gone. Um, I mean, and it drives me crazy because, even in WCW, you knew what was about to go down when that NWO music hit.
Yep. Sting,
Yeah.
Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. Uh, I mean, NWO Wolfpack,
Yeah.
uh, Lex Luthor. Um, you know, my favorite, Ultimo Dragon. Uh, there's one more. I mean, Goldberg. Excuse me, Bill Goldberg. Sorry, Brett. But
Don't disrespect El Dandy now.
yeah, right. But it was a lot. Like, I mean, And I mean, some wrestlers in AEW got some iconic ones. MJF, I know his. Strickland, I know his. Swerve Strickland's, especially when it's an aura now because when Prince, don't crucify me on messing up his name, but Prince Nana, Nana, whatever,
Hey,
he comes out and doing that,
yeah, doing that
and
dance.
he doing a little dance like that. I'm like, hey man, that's it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Brian Danielson, come on.
Brian Danielson, yeah. I mean, like he still, I don't know how he did it, but it still got the yes in it. But I mean, obviously he can't do yes in AEW, but
Yeah.
but that's another one. Daniel Bryan, like when he came out and the yes movement was behind him, it's just like, I mean, that crowd was crazy during that yes movement.
Another theme song that was borrowed from classical music, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've heard Big Show hated his theme song.
To my well is the big show. Well,
Yeah.
it's the big show.
Like, like I heard I heard a great story from that he told was that when they were asking him what kind of music what kind of music he was into, and Big Show was like, yeah, I kind of dig the blues, I like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Muddy Waters, and then they kind of came out with that, and it just stuck for 20 some odd years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, another great one. Mark Henry's. Someone about to get that kick.
yes, yes, yes. About to get their wig split. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody gonna be put in the house of pain. Like
Yes.
it's got to go with your whole persona. Like everything about you, your catchphrases, everything. It got to go, your instruments got to go with your character.
Yeah. And you know, one last thought about this. One of the biggest, I believe, drop balls that WWE had back in the, back in the, like right after they bought WCW, was how they butchered Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh my
Because
God.
Diamond Dallas Page, when that Nirvana sounding guitar riff hit, you knew exactly who it was. And when he came to WCW, they gave him this lame, generic kind of thing. Nobody knew who it was. And when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, did they go with the self hi-fi? No, they went with his WWF music. And it was like, come on, this is the we don't do this. We don't do this because that ties into your character more. It's all part of the presentation.
Yeah,
All
especially
part of the presentation.
especially Cody Rhodes. Look how they the production they did on his entrance music.
Yeah.
Like wrestling has a not doesn't I mean wow. Oh,
Wrestling has
wrestling has more than one
royal
royal
family.
family.
Yep.
And that was a shot. That was a shot to say, hey, don't forget about my family. Yeah, they got the bloodline, this, that, blah, blah. But
Got the bloodline, got the McMahons, but there's also another royal family here.
I mean, they call this it's I've always liked the interest music that it sets up to the music. Like Cody's he says his, and then it's like crowd is here about like
Yeah.
it's setting up to the big whoa, and like it gives Cody time to like when he was at AEW, he did the iconic the throne rose up, he had the sledgehammer, he smacked it, and like everybody was oh he's taking a shot at Triple H or whatever. But like those type of intro music, it excites me for the match. Just like Roman Reigns, it's like it's very classical, but it's like you always call Roman the Godfather. He always acting like the Godfather. It
Hmm.
definitely reminds me of that Godfather feel, like he coming out with this suit and like a cigar or whatever, and he do the ones or whatever. but he got that that Al Pacino type energy with that
Like
song.
Al Pacino meets Tony Soprano.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, um, one last thing I want to touch on quickly before we wrap up here. Um, as if you're watching us on YouTube, you're wearing a Star Wars shirt. We're recording this on May the 4th. So may the 4th be with you always. But I've always wanted to, speaking of theme songs, I've always associated this in the wrestling terms with the Four Horsemen. And the Four Horsemen had one of the coldest theme songs in wrestling history, in my opinion. Like, I mean, it's just a simple rock track, but it fit their characters perfectly.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as that, as soon as those like galloping horses started, you knew that Arn Anderson or Tully Blanchard or somebody was going to come out and do some damage.
yeah. I mean, when you think about it, all the not to do a little self promotion for Fantastic Four, but any four man stable, the Four Horsemen, the NWO. I had another one in my mind. Um,
Evolution is a mystery.
Nation of Domination.
Nation and
Uh,
domination. Yep.
uh, uh, there's so many like four man stables that are iconic. Oh, Evolution, yeah, can't forget Evolution. It's just like they had iconic songs. I mean, the Hurt Business, like,
Yes.
and now they the Hurt Syndicate over at AEW, but I mean they only got three guys, but
Right.
they Hurt Syndicate now, so it's like man, some iconic songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the like you said, the iconic songs fit the character because as soon as you hear that, you know exactly what that character's gonna do. That goes all the way back to like, for May the Fourth be with you, the Darth Vader. When you hear his song, you know
Yes.
he's finna to come in there, he's finna wreak havoc with that lightsaber, and he's finna choke out somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When that Imperial March hit, you know something's about to go down.
Yeah. And then Palpatine, he has that iconic, like sinister little music behind him. It's like you don't know if he's finna turn somebody dark or he's finna electrocute somebody
Or both.
or both at the same time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
shocking somebody, and he's just like, hey, so look at my power, look at how much power I have. You want to come to the dark side? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know we were kind of talking about this quickly before we recorded here, but um you know who I think is the Palpatine of WWE. It's the final boss.
yeah, of
Uh,
course. I mean,
yeah, that's easy.
he has so much pull that like he shows up, sells a lot of tickets for Elimination Chamber, and then he don't show his face ever leading up to Road to WrestleMania. And everybody is buying tickets trying to get to WrestleMania thinking that the payoff is going to be The Rock showing up, but we get his little goonie and Travis Scott. And as much as we want to sit here and say like, we can't stand The Rock, he needs to stay where he at, don't come to wrestling to ruin stuff. Anytime his music hits, his final boss music hits now, which is iconic too, it's like we're going to be strapped to our seats. We're going to look at that TV and wonder what is finna to go down because we have no idea. And then like the Darth Vader of WWE has to be um John Cena now, I guess.
I'm glad you said him, because I feel like he may not be the Darth Vader, but I feel like he's the Anakin Skywalker, because in Return of the Jedi, when he got unmasked, he was just a man.
He was just a man. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a man. And I feel like that's how John Cena's arc is going to end, is that he's going to get just unmasked as just a man, just a human being.
I guess in a sense you could say like his Darth Vader persona has always been hustle, loyalty, and respect. And he's been carrying it for so long that he got weary of it and realized that people wasn't invested in him as he wanted them to be because they were so conflicted. Like go Cena go, Cena sucks.
Yep,
So it's like eventually he has turned to the dark side because he just, he got sick and tired of being that guy.
there you go. And I definitely think that Cody Rhodes is Luke Skywalker,
Yeah, yeah.
because if you remember from the sequels, that the most like the Daisy Ridley trilogy, um Luke Skywalker was a miserable SOB in those movies.
Yes. Yes, he was.
And I feel like that's got Cody Rhodes' thumbprint right on it. Is that he'll never go bad, but he's gonna be a miserable SOB for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Um, God, who is Seth Rollins be?
Jar Jar Binks.
He reminds me of I know this ain't Star Wars related, but he reminds me of Chris Tucker's character off of The Fifth Element.
Not a bad call. That's not a bad call.
Come man, dressing up in them crazy outfits. I mean, just it's so diabolical. Golly.
Apparently, that man spent $16,000 on that jacket that he wore on. That's like,
And I'm just like, I don't see it. Why is it
I
so
don't
much?
either. I don't either. I thought it looked like one of Hugh Hefner's old robes.
I thought it was one of those. You have. Woo. I mean, it's not. It wasn't terrible, not compared to what we've seen him in before. I mean, this man is literally came in Becky clothes. Seemed like.
Yeah, or when he sees like the curtains on like a grandmother's window, I was like, make me a suit out of those. Here's my measurements.
Next thing you know, he gonna be wearing his daughter's clothes or something. I don't.
Oh God. Yeah.
He gonna dress up like a Teletubby or something.
Does he wear that kind of crap when he's at home with Becky
I'm
and
I'm
being a
so confused
dad?
because it's like the Seth Rollins we got before he became the Visionary. He was dressing up like this cool, like he was Thanos themed. He was White Walker themed. He was really into like the comic book sci-fi feeling when he did his wrestling uniforms. But now it's just like I don't know. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you.
Hey brother, you make the money, so hey, you do whatever you want.
It's your money. It's your money.
He,
You
he's
earned it.
uh
You
he's
earned it.
reinventing himself, so I'm not mad at him for it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it all. All right. Well, for a non-eventful week in the world of wrestling, we had a fun show.
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait to see what this week brings, and we definitely got more material for next episode for sure. I mean, no matter
Absolutely.
what happens in the world of wrestling, even if it's hot or cold, we gonna make it happen on our show. Give you all the show.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And our next episode, Just checking the calendar here. Yeah, no, our next episode is going to be a Backlash recap. So
Ah,
yeah, because
nice.
that's it's coming Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, the 10th.
I thought it was 2 weeks from now. What is
No,
going on?
no, no. But we're gonna have that Backlash recap coming up for you on the next episode. But you know, until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We've got a Facebook page coming. Got a eventually gonna have a page on royalheartsmedia.com coming. Got a lot of stuff coming on this podcast, and I can't wait. Dom, it's been another real one, my friend.
Been a great episode, my man.
Yeah, take care of that throat.
Yeah, hopefully I won't be sounding like this for the backlash recap. So,
Yeah, no, go drink you some tea and go to bed.
well, happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody that celebrates. So,
There you go. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and thank you for listening. Until we meet again, I'm for Dom, I'm Ryan. May the four horsemen be with you, and we'll talk to you next week.